presentation தெரியுது.
श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. Jai Jai Shri Sudarshana. First, again would like to submit my humble namaskarams to my gurus, Smt Prabha Senesh and Sri Swami, to all the Vidwans present in today's Sadas, and to my dear SMeP friends. Today, I shall be presenting on the topic of Mudhal Vaibhavam. The Mudhal are the first of the 12 Alvars. They are Poigai Alvar, Bhudat Alvar, and Pei Alvar. Poigai Alvar was not born normally like us. He was found in a lotus flower in the Divya Desam of Tiruvekka, which is a place near Kanchipuram, on the day of Aipasi Tirumonam, in the year of Vidyaarthi in the Dwapara Yuga. Poigai Alvar is the Amsham of Perumal's divine conch, Panchajanyam. He was named Poigai Alvar as the lotus he was found in was in the temple pond, which in Tamil is called Poigai. Bhudat Alvar was born in a similar manner. He was found in a blue lily flower in the Divya Desam of Tirukadalmallai, now popularly known as Mamallapuram or Mahabalipuram, on the day of Aipasi Avittam, the day right after Poigai Alvar was born. He is the Amsham of Perumal's divine mace, Kaumodaki. He was named Bhudat Alvar as he used to perceive Perumal in all bhutas. Pei Alvar was born in the same manner. He was found in a red lily flower in the Divya Desam of Tirumailai, which is now called Mailapur, on the day of Aipasi Sadayam, the day right after Bhudat Alvar was born. He is the Amsham of Perumal's divine sword, Nandakam, and he was named Pei Alvar as he used to sing and dance praises for the Lord with such devotion that people who observed him assumed that he had been possessed by a ghost, which in Tamil is called Pei. The three Alvars were staunch devotees of Perumal, and Perumal loved them all as if they were his own children. He wanted them to meet and create a great jumpstart to Vaishnavism. So he decided to plant a thought into the minds of the Alvars in order to make them come to a Divya Desam called Tirukkovilur. Due to the influence of this thought, the three Alvars departed for Tirukkovilur. Poigai Alvar reached Tirukkovilur first, but by the time he had reached, it had become night time and a huge storm was brewing. Poigai Alvar decided to ask for shelter in a nearby house. The house owner took pity on him and allowed him to stay in the front porch of the house, which in Tamil is called Idaikari, and in Sanskrit, Dehali. The Idaikari had just enough space for one person to lie down. So Poigai Alvar lied down and thought of the Lord. A few minutes later, Bhudat Alvar reached Tirukkovilur as well, and incidentally went to the same house to ask for shelter. This time, Poigai Alvar answered the door and let Bhudat Alvar into the Idaikari, which had just enough space for two people to sit. So Poigai Alvar and Bhudat Alvar sat down and thought of the Lord. Now, Pei Alvar arrived as well, and by chance, he went to the same house to ask for shelter. This time, both Poigai Alvar and Bhudat Alvar answered the door and let Pei Alvar into the Idaikari, which had just enough space for three people to stand. So Poigai Alvar, Bhudat Alvar and Pei Alvar, the three Azhwargal, stood and thought of the Lord. Perumal thought that this was not enough and decided to intervene by joining them in the Idaikari. Suddenly, the three Alvars felt the presence of a fourth person trying to squeeze into the Idaikari. But it was too dark for them to see who the fourth person was. So they decided to light lamps with their words. Poikai Alvar took up the initiative with the first verse of what would be the Mudhal Tiruvandadi. Vaiyam tagaliya varkadale neyyaga Geyya kadiron vilakkaga Seyya sularadiyan adike Sootineen solmalai Idalari neengugave endru. In this, Poikai Alvar says, O Lord, I use the earth as a lamp, Vaiyam Tagaliya, which is fueled by the seas, Varkadale Niyaga, and has the sun as the wick, Veyya Kadiron Vilakkaga. With this light, help me see the fourth person. A great light emanated in the room, but it was still not enough to clearly see the fourth person. So Bhudattarvar decided to try his luck with the first verse of what would be the Irandam Tiruvandadi. Anbe Sagariya Arvame Neyyaga Inburugu Sindai Irutiriya Nanburugi Nyanachudal Vilakketrinen Naranarku Nyanattamil Purindanan. In this, Bhudattarvar says, O Lord, I use affection as a lamp, Anbe Tagaliya, which is fueled by enthusiasm, Arvame Neyyaga, and has thought process as the wick. Inburugu Sindai Idithiriya. With this light, help me see the fourth person. Another great light enveloped the room, and this time the fourth figure could be clearly seen. Peyalvar was the first one to recognize the fourth figure to be none other than Perumal himself, and in the ecstasy that he experienced, started describing Perumal with the first verse of what would be the Moonram Tiruvandadi. Tirukanden, Ponmeni Kanden, Tigarumarukkanani Ramam Kanden, Serukkilarum Ponnari Kanden, Puri Sangam Kai Kanden, Ennari Vannan Palindru. In this, Peyalvar starts describing Perumal by mentioning his first and foremost characteristic, his divine consort, Lakshmi Devi. Due to Perumal's association with Lakshmi Devi, Perumal seems to have a body which glows as if it was made of gold. Perumal also possesses multiple weapons, and Peyalvar mainly describes two of them, the Ponnari, which is the Sudarshana Chakra, and the Purisangam, which is the Panchajanyam. What a divine and magical experience these Alvars have had. Perumal reciprocated all their devotion with even more love, so much that he wanted to have Deha Sambandham with them. Perumal, along with Vidyaarthi, joined them in the Idaikari in order to embrace them and bless them. The three Alvars were inspired by the divinity that they experienced that night, and it urged them to continue with what they started. So, Poikai Alvar composed the Mudhal Tiruvandadi, Bhudattarvar the Irandam Tiruvandadi, and Peyalvar the Moonram Tiruvandadi, each composition having 100 verses each. These 300 verses are the first of 4,000 verses, which would be composed by the future Alvars and would be compiled into the Nalada Divya Prabandhangal. Again, would like to conclude this presentation with the 50th Pasaram of the Adhikara Sangham. பாட்டுக்குரிய பழையவர் மூவரை பண்டொரு கால் மாட்டுக்களுள் தருமாயன் மதிந்து வருத்துதலால் நாட்டுக்கிருள் சக நான் மறை அந்தி நடை விளங்க வீட்டு கிடை கழிக்கே வெளிக்காட்டும் அம்மை விளக்கே. In this, Swami Desika beautifully describes this story of the Mudhal Azhwargal. He also points out that the Mudhal Azhwargal is the flames of knowledge which expelled the darkness of ignorance and gave us the bhaktas upayam for moksha. Kavitaarkika samhaya kalyana gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Again, I would like to apologize if there have been any mistakes in my presentation.
Dhanyasmi Kanna. Before anything, Pazhari Swami எழுதிருக்கார். சுவாமி பிரணாமங்கள். இந்த வித்யார்த்தி சதஸ்க்கு எங்களை குழந்தை அனுகிரகிக்கிறது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். அறிய பசங்க வந்து ஒரு 4 வருஷமா இந்த ஸ்டோரிஸ் அண்ட் வேல்யூஸ்ல சில டாபிக்ஸ்லாம் கத்துன்னு இருக்கா. அதுல இருந்து ஒரு 25 டாபிக்ஸ் எடுத்து அவளுக்கு கொடுத்தது. அதுல சிலது வந்து கதைகளாகவும் சிலது வந்து வேல்யூஸ் டாபிக்காகவும் கொடுத்தது. அதுல இருந்து சூஸ் பண்ணி அவ ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. அது சில குழந்தைகள் வந்து ஆங்கிலத்துல ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா டு பிகின் வித் அவளுக்கு ஒரு என்கரேஜ்மெண்டா அதையும் சரின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதனால சில குழந்தைகள் அப்படி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கா. விஷயம் நான் சொல்லி கொடுத்த விஷயத்த கிரேச்சுன்னு பண்றா. அந்த ரீதியில இந்த குழந்தை இப்போ வந்து இந்த கதையை ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கான். சுவாமி 2 வார்த்தை சொல்லி அனுகிரகிக்கலாம் பிரார்த்திக்கிறேன்.
அடி நல்லா சொன்னேன், ஃப்ளூவெண்டாகவும் சொன்னேன். முதல் தடவை சொல்ற மாதிரி இல்லை, நல்லாவே இருக்குது, எந்த தோஷமும் இல்லை. கத்துன்றதை சரியா கத்துறதுக்க ஒரு சில சரியா கத்துப்பா சொல்லும் போது ப்ராப்ளம் வரும், அப்படி இல்லை. ஒன்னே ஒரு சஜஷன், எப்படியும் தமிழ் அவசியம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும், தெரியாது இருக்கக்கூடாது. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி ஆரம்பத்துல இங்கிலீஷ் அப்புறம் இது பண்ணிக்கலாம். விஷயம் நல்லா கிரகிச்சிருக்கேன், அதை சொல்ற சக்தியும் இருக்கு. சத்தோட
பழவை போல ரொம்ப நல்லா வெல் ரவுண்டட் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன், ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது, ரொம்பவே பர்ஃபெக்டா இருந்ததுன்னு சொல்லணும். வெரி குட்.
அந்த அதிகார சங்கிரக பாட்டை வந்து இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணது ரொம்ப சூப்பர் கண்ணா. அது இப்போதான் உங்களுக்கு சந்தை ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. அதை எடுத்து கரெக்டா பொருத்தி அந்த இடத்துல போட்டது ரொம்ப நல்லா, நல்ல முயற்சி.